Yes, people, welcome back to the Gooner Club with myself, Romario, Huss, Mo, and Ibs. Ibs isn't with us today. I mean, some might accuse him of hiding from this episode. I mean, I don't know where you are, Ibs. Hopefully,
Chefing.
yeah, it's poor really from him. He's left us to fend for ourselves, boys. Of course, we did lose our cup final 2-0 to Man City at Wembley. You two weren't there, were you? I wasn't there. I wasn't there,
No,
basically.
not
I
in
was
the
in
ground.
Wembley. I
We
was
were in
in
Was
Wembley
you
Wembley.
at
though.
Yeah, I
Wembley?
went down to
Yeah,
Wembley.
we were in
I was in a
Wembley.
pub. I was just in a pub nearby because Mary lives in
Oh,
Wembley.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. This was
yeah, at
local
least
yeah,
settings for me. Or stones throw away.
yeah.
yeah,
We
nah,
thought we were
You could
going to
see
join
the
the fans
lights.
after the game. We thought we were going to get
Shoot.
straight into celebrations post game, but ended up being a sad train ride home with the City fans. By the way,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I saw your
train home
video in the
with
chat,
City
dark.
fans. Ah, dark, bro. You know what? They
And
never,
you're heading
never.
back that way, innit? You was heading back to Manny, right?
Yeah, literally, I'm heading back to Manny. I knew it. I thought if I get the last train, I might be able to avoid them. Nah, man, they were on there heavy. And I even went to the furthest carriage and it all came. I said, oh, God, no.
You know
Oh,
what?
Where'd
Like,
you
there's a
watch it
going
little
on?
home
bit.
second
There's a
again. You
there's a
wouldn't
little
think they
bit
were
of
second.
content there for you, Hush. You know, there's a little bit of
Yeah, nah,
content
well,
you
I
could
should have
have.
got more. But if I kept my head, I would have got more content. But in the moment, I was so just trying to get out of the way of them. I was like, I can't deal with this.
Nah, because it's real. It's emotional. It is emotional. You feel
Fully.
it. I was gonna go to Marylebone, Mo, to watch it with some of my boys. A few of my boys were there watching the game, but I just had this weird feeling. I was like, "Don't go to Marylebone. Just stay in
Mm,
your local area, watch it with some friends, and just
yeah.
enjoy the game. Save your train fare." Huss, you could probably testify. We all know train fare in the UK is mad right now, so I saved my
Joking, bro.
train fare, and I'm glad I did because
Yeah.
that performance, boys. I'm trying to think of a word that suits despicable, gutless, embarrassing, poor, abject, whatever verb you can think of, pretty much
True.
sums up that performance. And I don't think we can blame one individual player. I think Saliba can hold his head high.
Mm.
Outside of that, I struggled to really say anyone played a good game. It was sort of average or poor. I didn't even know how to start with this though, boys. Honestly, it's another cup final, another League Cup final that we've not won. I think it's
Mm.
1993 was the last time we won the trophy. I don't think we really care about the
Oh,
trophy so much. Um,
1 second, boys.
go on,
Go
Mo.
on. Go on.
Yeah, just whilst Mo's gone, I don't think we care about the trophy so much, us, but I think it's more the principle of how we played and how we lost.
It's a bit of both, man. Because I remember we always had this discussion prior to in the months building up to it, and I understand like the Carabao Cup is not the biggest deal in the world. We did have this debate about like, is it a big game or not? Do we care about the trophy as such? And now in the moment, you are kind of right. Like it's not the fact that it's not even the loss that's bothering me so much. It's the way we lost, man. The way we lost was in such a manner. Bro, Shirky's doing kick-ups in like the 70th minute. It's not even near the end. It's like the 70th minute, bro. And like I
Ah,
see people are vexed at him, bro. I was saying the same thing on my TikTok. For me personally, I've got no problem with that. No
I don't
problem
mind it.
whatsoever with
I don't
Shirky
mind
doing
it.
them kick-ups. I actually respect it. And Ben White walloping him straight after, I respect that too. That the both of those
Goes
things are what's
both
supposed to
ways.
happen. Yeah, it's both of those things are what's supposed to happen. But when Miles Lewis Skelly went and scored against City, did the Haaland celebration, we all
Yeah,
loved it. We've
facts,
got we've got we've got
facts.
we've got to admit the fact that we're rivals. It shouldn't be friendly. It shouldn't be super
Yeah,
respectful.
facts,
They
facts.
came to Wembley and let's have it right. They embarrassed us. Like even bro, you know what I was thinking last 20 minutes? More so than I was thinking, come on, get a goal. I'm thinking, please don't make it 3-0. That's what I'm worried about
Mm.
Yeah,
when they were
3-0 would
2
have
0.
been.
I'm thinking, please don't make it 3-0. You know how embarrassing that is? There was maybe 5% of me that thought we could bring this back to 2-2. It felt like such a long shot. From the moment the second goal went in, it looks from first before the first goal, the way we started the second half, and then they
But
conceded the
Huss,
goal.
Huss, let me just ask you there then, because well, I think we was all thinking the same. Like, please don't be 3-0. It's funny you say that because I wasn't thinking, oh, can we make it 2-1 and make it interesting?
Yeah,
Like, at not one point when it was 2-0, even before they scored their first goal, was I looking at our team thinking we're going to score, bro. Like, we didn't look like, apart from that Havertz opportunity in the first half, I don't think we had any threat at all to City's goal, bro. Like, that was just, I don't know what
First 30 minutes, I thought we was okay. Like, first 40 minutes, it looked like we were growing into the game in a positive manner. But when I thought
you're getting
hindsight,
into it. It's the cup final.
yeah, when I thought about it in hindsight, though, we've done that in every big game. Like, if you looked at against a Liverpool game, all them games, you always have like a decent first 20, 30 minutes. And then once the team sort of half figured us out, they've gone into the game as well. Bro, that second half was every word you said in the opening intro was to a T, man. Despicable, gutless. That second half, we just looked like from the moment when we 1-0 down, look, we down tools. And even in the manner that Saka lost Nico Riley for the second goal, it's all so like,
Saka, man.
it's all so like hapless. It's also like, oh, and I'm not even fully blaming on Saka because I always say this. I don't like, is Saka got any chance up against Nico Riley? Do you know what I mean? But still, though, like, it's just we just look.
You know the ironic thing with that, though, Huss? Bernardo Silva put Saliba off by challenging for a header, and then it falls to Nico Riley. So you're right, bro. Like, Saka's got to do better. I know. With Saka, I know we try and protect him. Let's talk about Saka. Let's just do it now.
All right,
let's just do it because I think with Saka, we're scared to criticize him for everything he's done for the club, the fact that he's a Hale End boy, the fact that he's sort of gotten us to this point himself, Odegaard, Gabriel, the list goes on. They've sort of been there through the dark times. So I do emphasize with Saka. But like you said, for their second goal, which comes in the space of 5 minutes, he's the captain, bump a new contract, 300k a week. I said to you boys, a little bit concerned about the contract, the weekly wage, because I'm not sure Saka is our match winner anymore. I'm not sure Saka can be that guy anymore. And I hope I'm wrong. I actually said in my reaction that I don't think Saka's finished. I'm seeing a lot of talk on socials that Saka's washed and he's finished. He's not world class. He's done at this level. And I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm not sure we're going to see 21, 22-year-old Saka anymore. I don't think he was ever the quickest, boys, but I just don't think he can move the way he used to move. I'm actually concerned for him. I'm worried, man.
No, he looks physically fried. Like, his athleticism just doesn't look the same. I was actually thinking if I was him, I wouldn't have done any football training for the last week or so. I would have just been doing athleticism stuff, getting my balance right, core strength, little explosive drills, sort of like how NFL players train. You know, they're always just doing their quick bursts, trying to get their first step right. That's what he needs to do now. It's about his athleticism. It's affecting his football play as well because he doesn't look as strong as he was. He can't burst past the man when he does. And even now, when he is getting that opening, his shots are they're looking weak. They're looking like they're getting blocked every single time. Like, a shot is not going well. And now, because he's trying to force it, his decision-making isn't what it was. So, and that's the one thing I've always given him credit for. Because I've always thought, whatever it comes down to, Saka usually makes the right decision. And now it's looking like he's forcing it. He's forcing the issue a bit more. So, it's so tough to say.
No, it's definitely been.
Because I'm still trying to hold hope that it's not, this isn't just him written off, but it might just be him needing to recover. And sometimes it takes that, because I felt from his injury last year, he didn't get his burst back until this season. And then as soon as he got his burst back, he injured the other hamstring. So,
yeah. I think that's the reason why we do protect him, because we do know he's had a lot of tough injuries, and we know that we're hoping for him to get back. I think we all secretly know inside he's not been the same since that second injury in particular. Since that second injury, since come back, he hasn't quite looked the same. He hasn't quite looked as sharp. And I think, I mean, one of the main things I've said on here a few times, like, he's not as aggressive as he was. He used to be a left back's worst nightmare. And he still is trouble for a left back, but it's not the same as it used to be. Like that goal we scored, for example, against Liverpool last season, where he got in behind Andy Robertson, cut it back and banged it. But there were times where Saka we say he wasn't the quickest. There were times where he was unplayable on his day. Unplayable, like blowing past his man at will, on the inside, on the outside, strength. and he did have some solid athleticism, but that's long gone. That's been long gone for at least the last 6-7 months. And for me, it's similar to. I'm sure I said it when we spoke about Odegaard, but I think, like you said, Rob, I think there's an element of it where we might not see that another 16-goal season. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do we think we definitely will? Do you know what I mean? Everyone just says, "Oh, he's going to get it back." Like, I think the only way he gets it back or recaptures form is if he reinvents himself as a player a little bit. Not super reinvents himself, but I think something has to change. I don't think he can be out wide anymore, really and truly. I think when I thought about it this morning, I thought, you know what? If Saka played in the 10 yesterday, I think we'd have had more luck rather than the way Havertz played. I think he needs to mature into that position or mature into something different because you need something a bit more explosive on the wing. The way Madueke is, like, Madueke seems like much more of a threat now within like the few minutes when he gets on the pitch, even if he's not playing very well. You start looking at Madueke starting over Saka. And that's a worrying thought. How have we got here at this point in the season where in crunch time we're thinking, is Madueke better than Saka?
I'm not thinking that. Just for anyone wondering, I'm not thinking that. Bro, just in case.
You know what though? I will say after Leverkusen, I was thinking like the back-to-back Leverkusen games. I didn't think. I mean, he played better in the second Leverkusen leg, but to me, I thought should maybe start Noni, but then he did take Saka off, and you could tell it was in mind that he's going to start him for the Carabao Cup game. And we were saying in the last pod, you got to sort of play him back into form. He's earned that rather than dropping him when it's not going right for him. But at this very moment in time, I don't know, man. There's just too many players not making an impact, or just
I just don't think Madueke. This is the problem. This is the problem we have, and this is why I didn't want us to sign Madueke, because I don't think he's improved Saka really, and it's not his job to make Saka better. But I don't think Saka truly feels his positions under threat with Madueke. I feel like Madueke, like, he almost accepts that he is second fiddle to Saka. I don't know if that's harsh or if that's a bit too savage.
Saka's in the worst form of his career, and Noni's still on the bench. So yeah,
exactly, exactly.
So your facts.
Like, I think that's a management
issue.
I don't think that's on Noni. I think that's on Arteta.
Yeah, but this is why, Mo. This is why I was saying about the contract, is because, and listen, we're all human beings, right? We're all prone to being changed by whatever. Like, we're emotional beings. You can be changed. There's not to say that Saka hasn't changed. I'm not saying he has, but that contract, the wages, it would have had some sort of impact on him. He would have woken up that next day feeling himself. Like, let's just be honest. Whether that was feeling himself in all right, I'm going to go show him why I got this money, or feeling himself in like you know what, I'm the guy. Sometimes when you think you're the guy, you take your foot off the ball. And I think what has gotten Saka to the point he is his drive. He's more, and not in terms of ability, but he's more Cristiano Ronaldo than Messi. He's more hard work than talent. And I think with Saka, I just worry that the hard work's been done now. I don't want to. I don't know. You two can call me crazy, say I've gone mad, but it's a big contract. And when you talk about it's a management issue, how can Arteta bench the vice captain, 300k a week, face of the club, franchise player? How can he bench him? You can't. You can't bench.
The thing is that you can though. That's what you can. That to me just means that you're not brave enough at your job. That because like everyone says, no one's bigger than the club, right? So if Mikel is coming in with this attitude that okay, he's got this contract, that means he's bigger than the club and he has to play. He has to have the armband. Not really. Like, it's literally about if you're brave enough to make those decisions, and you've got to make those decisions with what you see on the pitch. Odegaard hasn't played for a while. Maybe it's due to injury and whatnot, but I don't know. I do think
it's similar to what Rom said before with Madueke. Madueke isn't necessarily like good enough competition to the point where Saka has to be benched. That's the thing. Even if Saka's in this form, you're still looking at it thinking.
We've been playing with the mindset, like almost that there's nothing Madueke can do anyway that's going to put him ahead of Saka. And in last couple of weeks, I think there were spells where Madueke was playing a lot better than what we were getting from Saka.
Yeah, but starting like to now, this is the first time we've got a real case, I'd say. But
Do you know what it
you
is
talk
though?
about the
the
contract,
last couple of weeks.
because you talk about the contract there, Rob. I think for two things for starters. I think this has been Saka's form for a longer time than I think he's got particularly
Yeah,
worse in the last 3 or 4 games. But I think the whole season he's not been at his best, and it's been a gradual decline. But on top of that, I think he also knew he was getting his contract a long time ago as well. I don't think
yeah,
I know the contract got signed in January, or whatever, but I think realistically, I'm sure this was when he signed the contract. I remember being surprised, thinking I thought he already signed the contract anyway.
same.
I think,
I thought that had already come out, so he did.
I
You
think
might be right
it's
in
also,
terms of the hard
but
work
it's
being
also
done.
how we've all thought about the team and whatnot. Like I remember in summer, everyone kept saying we need a Saka replacement. What do we know? We need a Saka backup. We need a Saka backup. And I hate those terms because you shouldn't sign a backup in any position, except maybe a goalkeeper. Everywhere else, you need to be
Yeah,
signing someone that you can
he's
compete with that
competing.
position. So when
But
we're all
Mo,
saying we need a backup, we need a backup, like what do we mean by that?
but
Like
Mo,
We
this
didn't.
is
We
that means
needed
you're
an
never signing
alternative.
someone
That
who's
is what
good
people
enough to
meant.
start.
no, but it's
No,
the
but it's not
Harry.
what they meant. It's not what
It's
they
the
meant because
Harry. It's the
no one was
Harry
talking about.
Kane. I
No one
think
was
it's the
talking about
Harry
less.
Kane conundrum, Mo.
Go
It's
on.
sorry to cut you, bro. It's
Mm.
the difference is I don't know if you remember when Harry Kane was banging at Spurs. It was always who'd you come in to be his backup because you're not going to take Kane out of the lineup. And for me, Saka's not of the level of Kane. Like, and I don't know if he's ever hit that level of Harry Kane. Harry Kane, and this is an Arsenal podcast. I take no joy in saying this, but if Kane left Tottenham earlier, he's probably going down with a little bit more credibility. He stayed at Tottenham for way too long, but you look at Tottenham, they constantly struggled to find a backup to Kane. Now, it's very similar. Kane, boyhood club, starting out there at Tottenham, becomes captain, leads the team to not trophies but good moments. Kane and Saka have so many parallels. Kane suffered with injuries because he was playing way too much, playing for England. Like there's so many similarities with Kane and Saka, but my worry is Kane went like that and Saka seems to be going like that. I don't think Saka's necessarily he's definitely gotten worse, but it's not like he's awful. He's just nowhere near the level he got
What
to.
he was.
So what I'm saying, Mo, is I know what you're saying about like Arteta could bench him, Madueke's look better, but I just don't see a world where come next season Madueke is our starting right winger, and the
Well,
fans,
it's not good enough to be.
he's not
No,
good enough.
you're right. But
And
that's what I'm saying. We
Saka's
should have
not,
signed someone
yeah, but
that
Mo Saka's not
we
going to
all
get
thought was a
sold.
world
Nah,
class.
but I don't think it's fair to say in hindsight we should have signed someone better than Saka. I don't think that's fair to say. I think it's only. I think right specifically right now is the only time this conversation has been valid, right? Really and truly, to talk about upgrading Saka or talk about having someone. I think realistically, even though you could maybe see something coming based off the injuries, I think the form he's given us, like you said, none of us were talking about getting a better right winger than Saka in the summer. Like it just wasn't. That
Thing
wasn't.
is,
We had other
Not
issues
better,
to be
Huss,
Spurs.
yeah, better's not even
but
the right
better
word
than
because
better than
We should have got
Madueke.
someone. No, but we did. We all acknowledge that. Everyone said that. We did a no to Madueke campaign. We did a whole petition.
but a lot of people's
We
anger
decided
was
Madueke.
that
So we did know that. We did know we should have signed someone better. We should have got
a
someone
lot,
like a Elise or. But that's
yeah,
tough.
even Rodrigo. But a lot of people's anger wasn't necessarily that Madueke is going to be the backup. Is everyone kept saying if we're spending 50 mil, it's for Madueke to start. That is what everyone kept thinking, whether
I
that's
think
left
people.
wing or whatever.
I
But
think we
People were
thought it
putting
was
everyone
hundreds
left
kept
behind
wing.
saying,
Madueke.
everyone kept saying
Regardless.
Arsenal don't spend 50 mil on backups. Arsenal don't spend 50 mil on squad players.
Nah, you're right. You're
That's
right.
part of the anger that people had. But you know what, as well, I don't think Saka was the. I don't think that's the starting discussion for what went wrong yesterday. Like personally, I think
It's not
there's
the
so
starting
many other
discussion. No,
things.
it's a separate discussion. That's a separate
Yeah,
discussion. That's not about.
I think
Yeah, that's
there's
separate.
so many other things that we could like look at
Go on, mate.
for.
Tell us.
Yes, I think first of all, we'll just have a little discussion on them all. I think number one is the keeper. Have a discussion on the Kepa thing. Is there, were we being too sentimental giving him that game? I think tactically, Pep
That's
was
the main thing
levels
for me.
ahead of
Stunned
Mikel.
Arteta tactically.
So
Stunned him.
they let the whole all right. We're not going to press the goalkeeper. We're just going to put a line of 4 in front of your defense, and we're just not going to let you play out of that. We had no clue, no answers. As good as Gabriel is, he had no way of passing out of that. And then in midfield, that's where I think we really lost it. We couldn't get the ball to midfield and progress from there. There was no creativity. For me, I don't know. I've got big question marks with Zubimendi right now. Like, I don't know what he is. Like, I thought he was a guy that's going to drop deep, get onto the ball, create play. But that Jorginho, if Jorginho was playing that game, we would have noticed him. I didn't notice Zubimendi at all. And then again, we talk about no creativity. I think part of this comes back to a big mistake that we made in January, letting Ethan Wanyeri go. Like, that's the type of game that he needs to be playing right there. First of all, it's the Carabao Cup. That's where he was getting minutes. Second of all, he was before we let go of him, he was holding that position down better than Eze was in that moment of time. Eze was someone, before he kicked into form, he was playing in the left wing a little bit. He had his big performance against Spurs here and there. He had 4 games not in the squad. So there was question marks about what's going to happen with him. Right now, yeah, he deserves it. He deserves a mistake in the team. He should have been starting if he was fit. So I'm not like putting any blame on Eze or anything, but I'm just saying the decision to send out Ethan Wanyeri, that 100% weakened us. And that was a game where he was needed, especially if there's no Eze, no Erdegaard, no Eze. And that's what you need, a sort of young player. That's
You would have never played him. You would have never played him, even if he was here.
All right, whether he did, but then that comes back to me again saying Mikel. Mikel looked stumped for ideas. He looked, he was late to react, late to make the subs. We all said it when we were watching the game. Nkape should have been off at halftime.
Yeah,
Calafiore, who did come on, was our best player, and
Martinelli should have come on as well at halftime.
Who was? Who?
Martinelli for Trossard, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly,
Martinelli and Calafiore were the subs.
Even Madueke, you could have bought Madueke for Trossard. But we needed an outlet. That was the main thing. Like you said, tactically, that's the main thing. I think overall, you can look at individual players. I don't think, even during the game, I knew, the sub's not going to change this. We've lost this game tactically. We lost the game from Pep Guardiola outsmarting Arteta. Simple as that.
But they were basic.
We had no way to play out of that situation. The only way we could play out was go long. And Gyökeres, Trossard, and Saka are not winning you shit. They're not like that. I know Gyökeres wasn't the worst, but it was an example of if you need players, you need an individual who can get you out of jail in that situation. Send the ball along to me. I'll hold it. I'll bring someone in. Let me run the channel. And whenever we tried it, they knew Kusanov, Ake, they were like 1 for 1. We'll win this battle. If they come long, they send the ball long, 1 for 1, we are going to win this battle.
But you know what I'll say to that? Sorry, all right, Rom, you could go in actually if you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, like, well, Mo, you said a lot there, and I get it. Like, if we're talking about the tactical battle, I think Kepa does reduce you from playing out from the back. I didn't realize quite how good David Raya was until I've seen a few like comps on Twitter and stuff, and I think I actually said, look, start Kepa, because maybe I'm being too sentimental in that, and I actually don't blame Arteta for starting Kepa. I think it's easy to say, why do we start him? But when you think that he's played in every game, semi-finals included, and I don't think anyone mentioned Kepa being bad in the semis. So I do think it's a bit of, look, he cost us the game, but I don't think he cost us the game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I more look at the defense, the midfield, like you said, like both of you said, and like Zubimendi and Rice, they're both just not doing enough for me. When I look at Rodri and Bernardo Silva and even Shirky, they want the ball so much. Like they're Bernardo Silva's it's quality, but it's more mentality for me, Huss. It's the belief that Bernardo Silva, who's 5'6", 5'5", is going to be the most physical player on the pitch because he's mentally tuned in. But like, if Bernardo Silva's on your team, you probably love him. You hate him when he's not because he's so smart. He made 3 or 4 great fouls against us and didn't get booked for any of them. And then I look at like our midfield, Zubimendi, like you said, Mo. Like, what is he? What is he? To be fair to Zubimendi, he gives the chance to Havertz, the one he misses. That is Zubimendi's ball. It's a great ball. If Havertz scores, the narrative is very different. But football's more than one moment. So 2 things can be right. I think Zubimendi is being played wrong by Arteta. I think Arteta thought Zubimendi was this all-controlling six that everything revolves around him, and he's like a flipping a monk who just sees everything and everything just spins around him. But in reality, he's not. He's just Spanish. His name's Martin, but his last name's Zubimendi. If his last name was Smith and he was Martin Smith, Arteta wouldn't look at him twice. And that is ultimately the problem here, is that he's been misprofiled. And when you talk about the attack, toothless. I'm a big Gyökeres fan. Didn't have a great game yesterday. Pretty poor. Was it his worst game? No. Has he had a few worse games? Yes. So, I mean, the bar's low. Saka we've spoken about. But Leandro Trossard, boys. Now, this isn't me saying it's his fault, but this is why I wanted him gone, because when it comes to physically attacking, if you're a winger in this modern game where everything's about one-on-one, get your winger up against the fullback, wingers are getting doubled up on, you need some sort of physicality, whether you're strong or quick. I think that's why Saka's struggling, because he's lost a lot of his speed. He's still strong, but he's lost too much speed. Trossard has neither. He hasn't got strength. He hasn't got speed, and he's not as technical as Shirky. A lot of people tell me Trossard reminds them of Cazorla. I've never seen it. I just don't think Trossard is that good technically. I think he's tidy. I think he's good. He's safe. But there's not, like, Trossard. When has Trossard ever been that guy? Like, and it's not me blaming him, but it just frustrates me. I look at our squad, boys, and look, we could still win the league. This is why it's mad. We could still go on and win the league, but we're gonna stumble over the line in the league. I think we all know we're not looking forward to our next game in the Prem. It's gonna be nervy at home to Bournemouth. I guess we played the FA Cup and Champions League before, but I don't know, boys. I looked at that game yesterday, and it gave me nothing, no optimism at all. I think we will get over the line in the league, but I think it's partly because City have let it go. Partly.
I think we gave them belief, though. I think they were willing to let it go. But games like yesterday, we give them life.
Yeah,
and there's been so many times. There's been so many times where City were on the verge of quitting, and we give them that opportunity. Like this reminds them.
I always said this game is massive.
It was.
That's why this game was always massive, because if they win, you always knew if they win, they go into those last. We're so fortunate now that off the back of us losing that, we've still got a 9-point lead at the moment. But they beat us at the Etihad and they win the game in hand 3 points. So we've really got one game that we can throw away. There's 8 games remaining. Are we going to win all game? Almost certainly not. So it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride no matter what. And fucking,
Huss,
you know what?
That,
to this point.
Sorry, Mo. You say that if that game is the City game that we give away. Let me just wait. So we're 9 points above them. If they win the game in hand, it's 6. And if
they win at the Etihad, so then we've only got one other game.
Yeah. You're right, because a 3-point lead is still a 3-point lead, regardless how you put it. But
this thing, I do believe that we could get a result at the Etihad. But off the back of yesterday, huge favourites going into that game at Etihad. It's got to be them. Bro, imagine what they're thinking. You know what they would have thought when they got back to changing after the game? They said that was easy. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking that wasn't tough. Like these lot are meant to be tough. They're looking at it thinking, bro, we know we're better than these like that. They're going to be in that changing room now, scratching their head, thinking, how have we been second to these lot all season? That's what they're thinking, 100%. Like, bro,
Huss, do you know my worry? Huss, you know my worry. Sorry, you've just awoken something in me, because this is what Arsenal fans do. Probably all fans do it. Havertz was injured. We screamed for Havertz to come back. Raya doesn't start. Kepa's in. We say, what if Raya started? There's been times when Gabriel and Saliba haven't been there. What if they were there? Gabriel and Saliba were there. You're happy with that. Declan Rice is there. You're happy. Saka's there. Havertz is back. Gyökeres is playing. Trossard better than Martinelli. We really didn't have much excuse for it to be that easy yesterday.
We're clinging on to the smallest things. We're clinging on to the smallest things like Kepa. If we subbed in Cappy at half time. If it's like, bro, are we really gonna? Do you really think that would have swung the tide that much, considering the way in which we lost? We lost quite.
It's just not good enough.
It's just like it's just not good enough, isn't it?
I said to Huss before the game, I was like, we're in that position where I've got so much trust in Arsenal that whatever 11 that we put out, I trust that they're good enough to win this game.
Yeah.
Like whatever 11
Yeah.
that we put out. But there's things I'm starting to see. Like we mentioned Zubimendi briefly, but when we said what is he, I do think in Spain he did look like this all-seeing number 6, like a little Rodri kind of thing. But what I'm seeing now is I think the Prem's ruined him. I think the Prem has him scared. He's got shook now to get the ball under pressure. Like I see sometimes where he sees the ball under pressure. Let me get rid of it quick. And he's been caught making these way too many of these mistakes. Where he thought he had all that time on the ball when he used to make those mistakes, and has been punished. Now he knows, oh shit, like I can't. He's scared to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
And then,
but mate, you know what's worrying about their mistakes is they actually coming from like a lapse in concentration or nervousness rather than him getting barged off the ball. They've all come from him pretty much having time and space and him making the wrong decision. So
that's what I'm saying. Now he doesn't trust it. Now he doesn't trust the time that he has.
True. I hear
like
that.
I was saying before the game, Zubimendi's at his best when he advances. So I was saying to you before the game, Zubimendi for me is at his best when he's like advancing into the final third, like when he makes those runs beyond Rice's.
Because there's less pressure on him. If he loses the ball there,
the problem is, the issue is, we need someone who can drop into that hole and like nip it about. And really and truly, because positionally that probably should be Rice, but Rice isn't great at that. So we've tried to bring in someone else who can do that part of the job to free Rice up to do other things. But we've essentially brought someone else who's also better at going, advancing and going beyond. So, and I do think, like you said, I do think Zubimendi could do that. He can do that for international football. He can do that in La Liga. Premier League is a different kettle of fish. Fucking Declan Rice would also look like an incredible player because he's so much more time on the ball in those sort of leagues. And there's also the physicality aspect. I think Zubimendi is tired a lot of the time. I think the amount of games we're playing, these men have got stamina for days. As much as the athleticism part, it's the stamina you get from playing in the Prem week in, week out. And Zubimendi's probably never had intensity like this in his career. But once again, I also think they put us in a position tactically where Declan Rice and Zubimendi couldn't really get the ball like that. It wasn't as if I was watching that game screaming like, "Oh, give it to Zubimendi." Like, they were cut off. The passing lanes were cut. So really and truly, we had to go long a lot of the time. And the front three just wasn't set out to do it. And I think, like I said, we didn't react quick enough. Half time, we made no changes whatsoever. I think Hincapié was an obvious switch for Calafiori. He's on a yellow card against Antoine Semenyo, one of the most dangerous wingers in the league. Why would you leave him out there? You're just putting yourself at danger when you're doing that, for starters. Second of all, there's Martinelli. They're the only two really, but then I think the Hincapié one's annoying, to be honest, because both their goals did come from the right side after they kept Hincapié on. That one for me is one that I think most fans in their living room at home would have said, just sub him at half time. You've got Calafiori, it's a great left back. Why would you not sub him at half time? Like, it didn't really make any sense.
You know what? You're right.
So really, the blame goes down to Arteta for that game, for this game in particular. So
100%. You know what he said? Like, okay, if Pep's got us tactically, we can't pass the ball out from defense to midfield and progress it into attack. Our only option is the long ball. But there clearly was no setup for the team to play the long ball properly. Because when we were playing the long ball was when we were under pressure and someone's just hoofing it up. You should have realised, Mikel should have got the word out to him, or the team should have realised, okay, cool, this is what we're going to do from now on. Havertz, Gyökeres, Saka, all bundled together on the right-hand side. So there's a target for Kepa to hit the ball onto over there. And then you can feed off the scraps. But we didn't even have that. So it's almost like, I can't really put the blame on Gyökeres and Havertz and whoever for not holding the ball up.
Havertz was getting a couple, like one or two,
but they're all stranded because there was no plan for it. They're all one's here, one's over here, and one's over there by Trossard. But when we have that as a tactic, because we've done it with Bayern Munich, where we've decided we're going to tempt Bayern Munich to come close, and when they come close, we're just going to hoof it along, and we're going to hoof it along to the right wing, where Saka and Havertz are close together. And then they can play off each other. But clearly there was no structure for that in this game. Because when we were hoofing it long, because we forced the trying to play it out the back from the almost all game. When we could clearly see they were never going to press Kepa. So we kept trying it that way. And it looked like they had no other options. And Mikel looked stumped on the side. Like, didn't know what subs, didn't know to change shape.
But do you know, I think Eze's injury has completely
Yeah.
derailed his game plan. I think because I just don't see where Havertz would have started that game. I do
Probably
sympathise a
the
little
start
bit.
in front though.
But what does Eze do in that situation?
I don't know.
Does
I don't
Eze
know.
drop
I
If you had
think
Havertz and
the
Eze
ball?
up front, it's different. I think.
I think
Slightly.
Eze and Gyökeres would start that game. I don't think he starts Havertz in that game. I don't see anything from our last few games. Leverkusen, he didn't start
But what
Havertz.
do you think Eze brings in that situation where we're
Eze
I think
struggling to
was-
he's
get the
someone
ball into
who's
midfield?
I think he's someone who's more technically astute on the ball, someone who's a little bit more, and I think he makes the opposition worry. There's a video going around where Havertz is running with the ball and Kusanov is just hunting him down, and he just slides and wins the ball. Havertz isn't even protecting the ball. Eze is just similar to Odegaard, more technically sound on the ball, a bit smarter with it, knows how to win fouls. Like I think one of the big reasons we couldn't get close to City yesterday is because Shirky's ball retention. Shirky literally, him, Bernardo Silva, and Rodri will have it. They can stand on the ball and not move, and no one wants to go near him because when you press them, it's just going to pop. Well, I don't think Zubimendi necessarily has that. Rice definitely doesn't have that. Eze and Odegaard do. Eze and Odegaard can stand on the ball, and you won't want to go near him. Trossard sort of has that as well, to be fair to him. So that's where I think Eze changes it because I think Havertz is a bit of he's a tactical piece. He's something that you put in the team to do something specific. But if we're just gonna play football, Havertz, I just don't know if he works in this. I just don't know. I don't think he's physically at the same level, boys. I think a lot of these players aren't at their physical best.
I've never actually rated. I've never rated Havertz like that, like really and truly. Like, since he's been at Arsenal, I've never looked at Havertz and thought like that's a man who's going to bail you out of any sort of danger. He's not a guy who's going to just create something on his own. He's not really going to beat a man. He's just not that sort of player. He, like you said, he's a tactical piece. You kind of use him for specific aspects of his game. He's kind of good at winning the first and second ball, kind of pick up in spaces. But like in a game like that, like if you look at from a footballing perspective overall, I think Eze and Odegaard are miles clear of Havertz. Like we're talking about from a 10 position or from a midfield position, who you want to have in possession. They're miles apart from Havertz. And then the thing what Havertz has is his like movement and creativity. But that chance sums him up. He's the only person in our team who would have got in that position for that chance. Where he also doesn't take the chance when he gets there. That's the good and the pro and con of Kai Havertz. And that for me is why, I've never looked at Havertz as that guy, truthfully. I don't think he's like, I've never looked at him as like a world-class player or
Huss,
or
you know what
like
worries me? Yeah. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, and I'm gonna go my football manager bag here. At some point in football manager, it's like the level of individual quality drops, and you're almost looking at the game. And I used to say to my boy Ohms, like, I think the game's broken, bro. Like, there's not enough individual quality around. But now, when I look at like world football, name me who can truly improve this team that's realistic. It's so far and few in between the top players that are out there. Like you said it, Huss. Tonali is Tonali a ceiling raiser really for us? Like I'd take Tonali, but do you sign Tonali and be like, yeah, problem solved? We probably sign Tonali and have like I'm genuinely looking at football, like Mo was saying about Saka Madueke. Name me a right winger that you would want to come in to challenge Saka. There's not many that are realistic to get, if any. I couldn't.
It's so tough to say because honestly, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Saka was at his best. Yeah, like they're gonna say I'm crazy for saying this, but a couple of years ago, Saka was looking better than Dembele was.
Yeah, he was. That's not crazy.
That's
not crazy.
It was a fair debate. It was a fair debate. But you know what?
That was a fair discussion a couple of years ago.
That could be something that gives you a bit more faith in Saka if you look at it from that aspect.
You know why it doesn't? Do you know why it don't?
Because Dembele was a star boy. He blew off early, and then he did fall off for a couple of years, and then he changed his game, changed his game.
But the only thing I'd say to you is the only thing I'd say about Dembele and Saka is this is what I was saying with the Ronaldo Messi thing. I don't even Saka's not even a young Ronaldo, bro. Like I love Saka, yeah, but that is such a functional player. And when I say functional, I mean he will make things happen. It might not be pretty. He's so similar to Salah. It might not be pretty. He might have a pretty goal, but most of his goals are just going to come from him forcing the issue and making sure the
Yeah.
ball goes in the net. Dembele doesn't even know what foot he is. He says he shoots with his left foot. No, sorry, shoots with his right foot and takes set piece with his left because his right foot's better for shooting. We're talking like I know what you're saying with Dembele, but his technical ability is so
No,
much
yeah.
higher than Saka's. With all
Hey,
due
look, well,
respect,
that's what's mad though. Like Mo said, a couple of years ago, they were on the same sort of level, and now you look at them, they look worlds
yeah,
apart. And to be honest, even in general, like maybe there's a conversation to be had of if we overrate Saka in the first place. Maybe that's a conversation. That's definitely a
I don't think
conversation
we
that I'm
did. To
on
be
our profile.
fair,
But
I don't think we did. You know, Huss.
I don't think we did. I personally don't think we did.
No.
Personally,
I think he
I
was
don't
at
Proof
think
was
that
in the
level.
pudding. Yeah,
because
proof was in the pudding.
there was only like three wingers. There was only like three wingers in the world he could chat to him on the right, and that was like Salah and Yamal. Apart from Salah and
Yeah,
Yamal, you can
facts,
really chat to him in the last 3-4
facts.
years. But then you'd say Dembele, but even Dembele, these years you wouldn't put him down specifically as just like a right winger. You know, he's sort of a bit of an
Nah,
all rounder.
Yeah.
So it's tough in terms of looking at players who can improve us. The only people I see out there are like PSG wingers, the Bayern Munich
yeah,
wingers. So at this point, you have to look at the teams around us or who've got something that we don't. In terms of like, I said, we was in the pub yesterday discussing who we think Arsenal are going to sign. We're throwing out Kvaratskhelia and maybe Doué, maybe Barcola, but in reality, we will sign Anthony Gordon. that's the signing that's likely to make. Like maybe a Tonali, like you said.
Literally.
And like even I was reading like an article about
Huss, I
how
can't
Arsenal
do
made
it,
their
bro.
signing.
Sorry, I
But
can't
most of
do
our
it.
signings actually come
Surely
from
not.
other Premier League teams. That's the way that we've signed the majority of our players in like the last couple of years. That's what we sort of like to look at. I think Anthony Gordon, and then if you're in that same ballpark again. But
I can't do it
yeah, it's
anymore,
tough, man.
boys.
It's tough.
I've
There
got
isn't
nothing
loads of players
left.
out there anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, I think what we need to do is like, especially up front or in the front three, I need to see some top quality like under 23 signings, so players who can carry us forward. I'm not looking at this team. People keep saying we're going to be a dynasty for the next 3, 4, 5 years. I'm not seeing that unless we get a whole new attack. The only way we can talk about some sort of dynasty is if I see a whole new attack. Because
Plus, this is
I would
why
have
I think
last
we
2
need to.
years. But
I think we need to look at more upcoming players, man. Like I think we need
yeah,
to try and sign that next Elise or that next, I don't
yeah,
know, like even like Luis Diaz, who Liverpool signed from Porto. There's a young Polish
yeah.
kid at Porto who's like 17, 18. He looks decent. Do you try and get him? Maybe that's too young. Jan Diamande at Leipzig, who's 21. Are we realistically going to get Kvaratskhelia, Bacola, or Doué? I can't see it.
Yeah,
If you ask me, I'd chuck 100 mil at any of those three. Maybe save the 80 for Barcola, but Kvaratskhelia and Doué, I'd chuck 100 mil at and see what happens. But I just can't see. I just struggle to see how we improve, man. I'm genuinely looking at us. Like Semenyo going's a big miss. I like Krupi Jr. at Bournemouth, but he's only 19, 20. Like you look at even in the league, Huss. I'm trying to think of players at the sort of Brentfords, your Brightons that you could pick out, and there's not many, bro. There's
yeah.
not
There's not
many
loads.
like players that will improve our squad.
Players come and go though. Players do come and go. Like players who you wouldn't like. For example, if you asked me in the summer who's an ideal striker, I would have never said Ekatike. But I look at him now, I think, oh,
Yeah, fairs.
suit us a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like that's their job. That's what we. I read something the other day. We increased from 30 scouts to 150 scouts. Right? We've got 150 scouts, bro. You know how many man that is? 150 blood clot scouts. Like one of you better find me something, man. One of you got to find me something because you're telling me we've got 150 scouts and the shortlist came back with Anthony Gordon. I could have said Anthony Gordon. Do you know what I mean? Like, you may as well employ me for
That's
that.
true.
These men is watching Match of the Day. Do you know what I mean? Like, go out to the French lower leagues. Go out to. There'll be some French talent out there. There'll be some Brazilian talent out there. Is it? I don't know. The main instant fix that we need for me is just the front three. I think the rest of the team you can mostly keep the same. But in terms of like instant, quick things which I think need fixing is probably At least two. We need at least two out of front three this summer. Ideally, 2-star signings there. But then again, you ask me for key names, and you know what? Unless you can really go for it, unless you go for like your Vinicius Junior and Mbappe, like, why not throw some money at like Luis Diaz or Harry Kane? I know we just mentioned Luis Diaz. Maybe, yeah, maybe we just got to sign a couple.
I think
we can get.
I think the type of players we need an elite winger, but is a connector, someone like an Arda Güler or like a young Erdegaard, really and truly. That is what we were missing.
Yeah.
Someone that
We
can
missed
actually pick
Ødegaard,
up the ball and just be brave from there, get the ball.
He's
That's
the
what I'm
team
saying.
is-
I mentioned Ethan Wanyeri, like, because I do think that is the mold that we needed. Someone who's gonna be brave, get that ball on there, dare to take someone on in midfield. Just, you know what I'm saying, like a young Jack Wilshere was doing. That's actually what we're missing right here. Like, we even need to go out too much to get it. We need a manager that's going to put that faith in these players and embolden them to do that. Because right now, I feel like I've said this, and it always comes down to this when we have a bad performance, because I just think our mistakes are just so highlight, like there for the world to see when we have a bad performance. And it's, again, I think it was coached out of fear. Like, I think so much of our game is about just being, I don't know, just not messing up. And if the game doesn't go our way, that's what makes it so hard to turn it around. And because we don't have a special like magician up front or anything that has the talent to just turn the game around, we're just on the margins every game. So like, if we don't get that first goal, like it's going to be a struggle. Like overcoming from 1-0 down.
Do you think Arteta suffers from the same PTSD we do? He was part of a lot of them big defeats us lot suffered. Liverpool, Chelsea.
I don't think like, we bottled it. Do you know what I mean? I actually don't think we bottled it. I don't think.
But I don't think you can bottle it. I don't think you can bottle a cup final anyway. Really, like I think bottles use too much these days, man.
Yeah,
I just don't think we turn. I don't think it's a case of bottling it or not, Huss, because I don't think it was our trophy to win. It's a cup final.
I don't think it's like a fear thing, though, either. I don't think it was like we lost out of fear or, the players weren't there mentally or anything like that. I don't think it's any of that.
I think it's definitely
we just got outclassed. We got outsmarted.
I think I agree with Mo, man.
I don't think it was that. I think that first 20 minutes, we looked the better team. We were better. Yeah. Then I think it was mentality. I think, like you said, look how our heads dropped after the first goal. That is mentality.
First two goals, I'll agree with that. After we conceded, we looked defeated. Second half, we looked defeated, but we were done tactically. We were done. That's
what I'm saying. If that happens, if all it takes is you to concede a goal, then that means there's a mentality problem from the get-go. It didn't just happen then when the goal came in.
Because they didn't know what to do. That's the play. The players didn't know what to do because we were outsmarted tactically. They couldn't get out of our own half. The players.
But I think part of that.
Or have the answers to get out of our own heart.
I think part of that is being brave. And I think some of that, what I'm talking about being brave, is being brave enough to take Nketiah off at half time and put on Calafiori. We all saw that change was needed. That's part of being brave.
I think it's brave to keep him on. I think it's brave to keep him on. I think the safe decision is sub him at half time. I think if anything, he actually showed bravery in saying to Nketiah, I trust you. I'm actually going to keep faith in you. Like, I'm going to keep you out there. That is some form of bravery. I think as much as you can say it's brave to make a change, there's also bravery in not making a change. I think Arteta, if anything, trusted his players to go out there and fix it on the pitch too much. I think if anything, it was on Arteta had to change something tactically in that game, and I think he got outsmarted. I think Pep's a better gaffer than him. His experience in the cup finals. Like, I would ask.
Did we have the quality to change? Did we have the quality? Because I think you're both right. I don't think so. That's not me sitting on the fence, but I think Mo's right in the sense that we should have been more brave. But I think Huss is right in that tactically the bravery might not have worked anyway because you need the quality. Because
we're saying about quality. Like, saying if we've got the quality to change it. If we haven't got the quality to change it, then what's bravery going to do? Like,
I think we do though.
A case of who was supposed to be brave in the situation because who has the quality to do anything in that situation? Do you know what I mean? If Eze's there, Eze can try and be brave, get the ball deep, beat two men and do it. What is Havertz going to come be brave and do that? It's not being brave. That's being stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's the timing
on the pitch to do it.
But that's why the timing matters, and that's why I'm saying it's got to be strong and brave enough to make a change earlier on. At half time, I think that's the perfect time to take Nkapie off and put Calafiori on. And Calafiori is someone that he's a wild card. Like even when he
Yeah,
came
should
on,
have
he
done
was
that
our best player.
100%.
He had.
Like,
I'm pretty
and that's
sure he had the most shots in our team, Calafiori. Maybe
right.
level with Saka
Okay,
because he
keeping
had 2
Nkapie on was
shots.
criminal, and I don't know why he did that. Keeping
That's what I
Nkapie on was
mean.
a strange decision to me.
And
But if
I
anything,
think
that to
it's
me
easier.
shows.
I think doing nothing is the easiest decision. And I think that's what he did. The easier decision is to do nothing. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just see where this pans out. Cool. And then we've conceded. Now you've reacted too late because now we're chasing the game. And that's where I mean. Like,
Yeah.
once we're 1-0 down, you're right. Do we have the quality to like turn that around? Maybe at 1-0. Like we did it before at the Emirates when we were 1-0 down and Martinelli came on and scored the equaliser. But at 2-0 down, we really don't. We all knew.
Even
And
that,
the heads dropping.
even that at 1-1, that's individual quality from Eze. That's, do you know what I mean? That's literally
But I'm saying,
single-handedly what
so you
brought us back that
believe
game.
we do have the quality.
Individual quality. Like there was
Yeah,
no one on
and
the pitch yesterday
Martinelli.
who's doing that.
But I'm saying
Yeah, but
Martinelli
Eze, it's
potentially.
Eze who picked down the ball to he could have been anyone else on the pitch. Martinelli's not getting that ball, and it's still a mad finish from Martinelli, so it's individual quality from Martinelli as well. But at the end of the day, that's what it took in that moment to beat to get a point against Man City last time. I don't know. I think individually there's an issue there, quality wise. There's a quality issue. Like you look at their team yesterday: Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Shirky, Doku, Semenyo, Haaland. Compare that with our fucking front four. It is levels apart. Compare our front four with the front four that started yesterday with most teams in the top 6. You wouldn't think that we're the ones who are top of the league. Even between them, the goals they've got, they haven't got numbers up front. Havertz hasn't had a good game for us in attacking midfield pretty much since we signed him. He's had like literally maybe 1 or 2 at best, but it's just not. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think part of me looks at it this season. I think the fact that we are top with the attack that we have is quite remarkable in itself. I think that's a note to Arteta in itself. I think we play in the way that kind of suits the players that we have, but ultimately we have to make it. We have to make a change. I say, 100% agree with that. And we did react too late. I think Pep outsmarted Arteta on the day. I don't think it was fear. I think it was he got outsmarted. That's what I think. I think he didn't. It wasn't a fear thing, but ultimately, I basically agree with what you say. I don't really disagree with anything you said, really.
Well, boys, now that it has, left us feeling like this, we're at blows with each other, agreeing, disagreeing with what should have been done, what shouldn't have been done. But we do still have the chance in 3 competitions, a strong one in the Premier League, 9-point gap, as I say. Has this, boys, I guess, given you hope, killed your hope? How are you feeling going into the title running, man?
I mean, it hasn't given me more hope. I mean, it hasn't given me more belief. Like, I still have the same hope. I just think we still need to be smart. We can't, as well. There was always a part of me that thought it's going to be too good to be true winning the Carabao Cup final. 9 points clear, win the Carabao Cup final, sail off to international break. Like we always have it in us to mess up just before the international break when things are going well. Like it's not the first time we've done that. So there was always part of me that just thought it's too good to be true. That's too ideal. But coming into the Prem, I still have all the belief that we should do it in the Prem. But I just for our own, we can't drop any points before that City game. Like we have to have got a win before that City game. I think we only play one more game before that, right? Before we play City.
1 or 2. Might be 1.
I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Champions League, I think it's 4 actually. I think it's FA Cup, both legs of the Champions League in Bournemouth.
Okay, all right.
I mean, so imagine you crash out.
So it's only Bournemouth. Bournemouth's the only Premier League game, though.
Yeah, right. There's only 1 Prem game, but we got the Champions League.
That is key. We need to come into that beating Bournemouth.
Every game.
They might have had their game in hand by then, probably.
I don't think they
would. When we have our Champions League.
Their game in hand is based on Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace is still in Europe. So until Crystal Palace get knocked out, if Crystal Palace make the final, City's game in hand would be in the last week of the Premier League. So they would have a game in hand after we've played our 37th game. So Crystal Palace, they're going to play a part. That game in hand, Crystal Palace might not give a crap about it because they might have a chance to win the Conference League and go into the Europa League. So we
need to make it redundant.
Yeah, we need to. For me, beat Bournemouth, beat City. If we beat Bournemouth and City, the league's as good as done because then you'll be at least 12 points clear with 6 games to go. No, with 5 games to go. So 12 points clear, 5 games to go. You need one more win and the league's yours. So for me, and shouts out Luke, who's been on the pod. Luke always tells me, forget what City are doing. Forget what City are doing. Think about us. Focus on Arsenal. And he's right. Like, we need to forget what they're doing, forget their game in hand, and beat Bournemouth, beat City, beat Fulham, beat West Ham, beat everyone we got left this season, and show everyone we're the champions. Because everyone will forget the 3 months before if you end it strong. It's like boxing. It's always the final. They call it the championship rounds. This is the championship rounds now. We're going into the final leg of the season. Go out with a bang. Don't flip in, cross the line with a whimper where they got to push you over the line and you're crawling over. City are dropping points, but like, let's go and win it properly. That's what it is for me. I think we now need to win the league in style, and I think we deserve it, boys. I think these players and the manager, they honestly owe it to the fans, and I think they owe it to the club. I think they've been supported. We used to criticize Cronkies. We never mention the Cronkies anymore. The Arsenal fans don't mention ownership. It's not even a discussion. It used to be the main thing we talk about. Get the owners out. The owners are holding us back. Now the owners have platformed us, boys, and what are we doing with it? So for me, the players and the manager, I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm going to go lead judges here. I don't want to hear any excuse when it comes to the end of the season. Not one. There's not any excuses. If we don't have the league title, get them all out for as good as I'm concerned. They can all go. League title minimum.
Just quick question before we finish it off. Would any of you have played Max Dowman in yesterday?
100%. Yeah, I said that. Why did he not come on? I said the exact same thing.
God,
I don't understand why they didn't bring him on at 2-0 down. 2-0, like you said there. I get why the team did accept defeat from 2-0 down, and I think that's part of it because you're looking at it thinking, who's going to come on off the bench and do anything here? The only person
you
I've
know
seen
what,
is Dowman.
Calafiori was the only one.
Calafiori did, but Calafiori should have been on at half time. He should have been on. Yeah, he should have been on at half time without a shadow of a doubt. And he did something when he comes on. There's only so much you can do from left back. But at that point, once you're seeing that, surely just throw Dowman on. What is there to lose? 2-0 down. I don't know if you're trying to protect him, but
yeah,
you throw him on at Anfield. You throw him on at Anfield. You throw him on in these games. But so I get his protection, but that means if it's protection, that means you admit that you defeated. The game was gone. You're not fighting to the last whistle. You're almost admitting the game's gone if that's protection. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Purely from a footballing sense, it would have made sense to throw Dowman on because for me, the obvious issue was we had no one in there who's just going to do anything special, bail us out with a bit of individual quality. If anyone can, it's Dowman. So
it is Huss. I make you right. I agree. I think we probably should have seen Dowman. I think he's that good. Barcelona didn't protect Jamal. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Rooney wasn't protected by Everton. So I make you right in a way. Like,
I think it was almost,
if you're here to play.
I don't know if I would have personally.
Comes on 2-0 down at Wembley 30 minutes ago. What is there to lose?
But do you know what it is?
I don't know if I would have.
Mo, I think, sorry, just quickly. I think after he scored that goal against Everton, you got to think he's not played a minute since. I honestly think, and I think we've had 3 games since then, or 2. I think the club, I think internally, they're probably like, we need to shelter him a little bit. Yeah, just calm the hype down, because even I see a video of him getting like hounded by fans. He's with his mum in the front seat, and they're all getting his autograph, and it's like, there's some guy in there who I hope he's younger than Dowman, or at least his age. He's like saying he's his idol. He's like, "You're my idol, Max. You're my idol." Like, sometimes I think the size and the gravity of football we can't grasp because we're not them. And maybe to the club, they've looked at it and they said, you know what? Everyone was talking about Dowman, bro. On TalkSport on Monday, on the Tuesday, it was all Dowman. They literally even had that coach who went on talking about Dowman, and Dowman's dad came out saying, "Why are you going on talking about him? I already told you don't talk about him." So Dowman, it's the classic English press. It's the Bellingham story. It's the Rooney story. It's the list goes on. So for me, I think they're protecting him. So I'm not Dowman not coming on. I'm not mad at. I can stomach that. I get it. I
Yeah.
No,
think
it's not my number one complaint, but at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
But I think I reckon Max Diamond's parents would have wanted to see him on. Like, you know what I mean? We're taking protected. I reckon they can get him on. I reckon his dad's there saying, "Get Max Diamond on. He'll do something now." So,
And his dad's a
you know, I
Gooner
get
as
it.
well. You know, he's sitting
Yeah.
there thinking,
Yeah,
"Get my
that's
son on.
legit.
He'll change the game
Yeah,
for
he's
us."
thinking,
You
come on,
know,
man.
who
what
I
mean?
do
It's like,
think that could have changed the game a little bit, especially in midfield. Lewis
Lewis
Skelly.
Skelly. Yeah.
Lewis Skelly.
yeah, but that's
I
a
do
pipe dream.
think.
That's a pipe dream.
I mean, it's not necessarily a pipe. I mean, to put him on, maybe
You haven't
it's
actually
crazy
seen
that
him.
it's become that. But I mean, he has the skills to have got onto the ball, turned the player, driven through him. He's done it against PSG. Come on, he's done it against
I
Atletico.
left that.
He's done it
Real
against so
Madrid.
many big teams. Done it against the
Yeah,
Real Madrid.
I left that.
And what
All
are we
left
doing
back.
now?
They're all
Yeah,
left back. But that's he
but
should
I'm
be
saying
playing
that
left
this
back
would have been
more.
even more protected. I would have took off a Zubi or something, and I would have put Skelly on.
I don't.
Yeah,
I worry that he's.
Hincapie had to come on.
Yeah, but
Hincapie, I would have took him off for colour.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think.
worry.
Oh,
I worry he's not trade. I don't think he sees Lewis Skelly as a centre mid man. Like you got to remember, Maitland Niles wanted to play centre mid. Said, "Brother, you're a right back in my team, or you're gone." And he went, and he's now playing right back at Lyon.
True.
Like maybe Lewis Skelly isn't seen as a centre midfielder for Arteta. I don't know. Like Huss makes a good point. A lot of them performances did come from left back. Would he be the same in midfield? I think he could. I think he's got to be good. He's got to be good there. Surely it's just whether you try it in a cup final because I don't. Lewis Skelly hasn't played in midfield once. He was supposed to,
yeah, I know
and then
that.
Calafiori got injured. So he's damned.
Yeah.
He's damned if he does. Damned if he doesn't. Any really, it's tough.
Facts. I do think
It's
though.
tough.
I don't think any subs would have made that much of a difference. I thought that during the game. I think there's no one-off sub or subs that are really making that much of a difference in this situation. Something just had to change from a tactical perspective. That we didn't have the answers in the squad, like in the whole squad. The answers I don't think were really there to win that game yesterday, unfortunately. So I do think when you look at it man for man, if City are truly on it, like at the Etihad, it's a tough battle. Like we've got to beat them tactically. It's the only way we can actually beat Man City is to beat them tactically. I don't think you can beat them like man for man, individual quality when they're truly up for it. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, yeah, we've got to just get through the season. Like, really and truly, we win the league this season. We've done it with a very mediocre front line. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be quite remarkable if we get over the line with this. It's gonna say, you know what, that front three is not going to be. This front three is not going to be remembered about in history. Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to be talking about this front three for years to come. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not. It's not that. We've got to bundle it over the line with this front three, and then next season we have to upgrade, man. We have to upgrade. But yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. I think Miles Lewis Skelly, it's a tough one for him, man. He looks like he's got a lot taller, if you've noticed in his last couple of games. I don't know if that's got anything to do with
I've clocked.
I haven't clocked it.
Yeah, he looks like he's
looks a bit
few inches
taller.
taller. So that might have affected him physically in some sort of sense. Might be part of the reason he's not playing as much. But yeah, hopefully next season we see him more. If not, mate, I think there's talks of him going on loan, huh?
I don't think it's the worst idea. I think a season-long
no.
loan's better than if you're gonna loan him out, just do it. Like, don't do none of
He
this.
needs to be playing. He needs to be playing at
He needs to
Arsenal.
play.
He needs to be playing at Arsenal.
Yeah, he needs to be playing somewhere.
Yeah, but I hear that, but I always point to Saliba, man. I know he went back to France and this is sort of home country, but I don't know, man. Does Lewis Skelly? Yeah, but does Lewis Skelly, if he goes on loan, he's not. I don't know if he. Like if he goes on loan, does he get played as a centre mid elsewhere? Maybe. I think he could go to like an Everton, a Brentford, somewhere like that. I think Brentford would be class for him. I think Lewis Skelly on loan it would actually help him. I don't think he's not going to start for us next season. Lewis Skelly can't. He can't have another year of not playing. That's when you kill a player. Like that's when you stagnate them. So I personally think sending Lewis Skelly on loan makes sense. It's just that thing of. Do you get in another centre mid? Because I don't think Norgard can stay. There's so many things we could talk. Like Like, what is Norgard doing at the club? Like, it's such a pointless. For every summer, we have a decent window. There's always a couple like weird ones in there, and Norgard's one of them, man. Like, he's up there with Neto and Sterling for me. Like, he's just not had an impact. He's played against Mansfield and Portsmouth, and I get it. Like, big him up against Kairat, but it's like he's a Premier League captain last year. Surely there's more, but I don't know, boys. I've just about had enough of talking about my team. I'm actually glad the international breaks here. I'm glad the international breaks here. I think we need it. I think the players will benefit. You've seen a lot of our players pull out. Gabriel's out of the squad. I believe Saka's there. Saka and Rice aren't playing in the first fixture. Let's see if they pull out. Trossard's pulled out. I've seen a few people telling him to just go. We don't even care if you pull out. Saliba's pulled out. So there's a few players that are pulled out of international duty. Hopefully they're fit when we come back, because Timber needs to come back. Odegaard needs to come back. There's still some good players there. But we're hurting. Yeah. We're hurting.
Yeah. Well, so imagine now. Imagine if we do get through the Champions League, we've got to face up Barcelona. You're thinking attack for attack. Then, like, you're going machine for machine, bro. It could get dark if you go.
But wrong. You know, it's Huss. We might actually benefit from playing a team that relies less on keeping the ball and more on scoring goals. It might help us because we could count. I actually really look forward. I hope we get Barcelona, not Atleti. I'd love to see us against Barca, because I'd love to see if we just tried to sit deep against them, even though they play the highest line in the world. Like, surely you have to attack and be ambitious. But when you do that, you can get done like Newcastle. You can. They're that good. They've got that much.
If you get too drawn up in it, you get too caught up.
There's nothing that's indicated that we can go counter-attacking. We are one of the worst counter-attacking teams in the league.
Yeah, but if you start Martinelli, Madueke, and Gyökeres, that is as counter-attacking as you're going to get. It's not great if you're keeping the ball, but surely if you need a counter-attack, Martinelli, look at his goal against Real Madrid last season. Chelsea, Martinelli is a counter-attacking specialist.
Yeah. They look so easy to score against. They look, when you watch Newcastle Barcelona, they look like the most easiest team in the world to score against. Like, you literally just pass it out the back twice, then you send it down the line, and you're in behind every single time. You're in behind. If we played depth and we couldn't do it, then you've really got to have a question about your attacking quality. Do you know what I mean? Like, a team of attacking quality should be able, but they should actually be a dream matchup for us for that reason. Because we should be able to score goals against them, and we should be able to actually park the bus and do our defensive duties quite well. And we should actually be able to take them on the break, but I just don't know if that's when we're going to find out. And it depends what lineup we're going to play. Are we going to be able to get the ball to them in the first place? You know, are Martinelli, Gyökeres, they're going to win those individual battles? Yeah, it's, you know what? Now that's like the first real test. We've struggled this year against big teams. Every big team we played this season has looked pretty similar. I think about the Liverpool game, both Man City fixtures, they've all looked quite similar. We've had a good 30 minutes, and then we've ended up just being outclassed essentially by a better team in the second half. Remember how Liverpool started the second half against us, both games? Got cooked both times. Same thing with Man City. Basically putting us to bed in the 45 to 60th minute. We need to prove in this remaining games of the season in the Champions League that we're capable of winning any of these games. And it's possible. It's possible it's all going to come down to that game at the Etihad. That's going to be, because I do think realistically, are we going to win every other game? I think we are going to drop points. I mean, they'll probably drop points as well. I think ultimately it probably will come down to that game at the Etihad. And we just have to prove that we're capable of doing something in a big game, which somehow we haven't this season. Seems like we're taking a step back in these big games this season. So it's tough, man.
Big end to the season, Huss. Mo, we got to get past Sporting first, and then FA Cup, and then title charge. Let's hope the boys can do it. We're all a little bit deflated, but I'm sure it was good to get off the chest, boys. And hopefully when we come back from the international break, we're putting a foot on the gas. But that's it from us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, people. Follow us on Spotify. I'm sure we'll give you an episode during this international break. But yeah, until then, people, see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.